So today, we got our final beta build before the update goes live. We're using the Katana in this run and it's doing some big damage. How though? By using the good old DJINN'S LAMP. Well, about 3 to 4 actually. But hey, check this run out and let's see how much damage this Katana can really do. Okay, let's go jump to unranked games with the Ranger and see what I can do today. So shield on sale, I will definitely grab here. Along with the whetstone, and along with our bow and arrow. And you know what? I actually want to grab ourselves a big old banana. I'm going to save our golds. And I'm going to move on with the first round. I think this should be pretty good. The shield to block some damage. Eat up our opponent's stamina. Should be pretty good. However, I'm going to begin a Pyromancer. They only have one wooden sword for stamina. So they're not going to run out of stamina anytime soon. It still will block their damage though. We have made them use their health up, but it's still looking like they're going to have the advantage here potentially. Although, it's looking super close. 1 HP in a dream. Amazing. Holy moly. That was way too close. We got our hero sword. Do we want to grab our undead phenomenon? I think we kind of have to grab it. Amulet of Alchemy is not exactly what I'm looking for. I'm going to roll. I definitely want some piggy banks. But I also want this water stuff. Do we sell our Amulet of Alchemy here? Actually, going to sell a banana. Let's grab you. Let's also grab you. I'm going to reserve this bit of storage and I'm going to craft up a spike shield here. Spike shield instead of the little tusk here. Because I think it's going to be a little bit better first right now. We stack up those spikes, block that damage. And with the piggy bank, we do stack up a little bit more max life. We get a few random buffs with our Amulet of Alchemy. And not too bad. Let's grab our storage. And we could take ourselves a wooden buckler here. Again, to try and craft up another spike shield. And potentially get the shielded skill too. I'm not going to take it for now. I'm going to roll. I will take anything that's on sale. Let's keep moving. And I also want to grab you, which I'm going to sell this pretty much instantly and add this in. And I guess we're going to move on. We've got one piggy bank here, which is going to give us a ton of value. Although our opponent does have 2 piggy banks, which is going to give them even more value. That's for sure. But can we actually keep up? They definitely could have stacked up a little bit more max life for themselves with the piggy banks. But with 2 little shard bows and hero sword, we should be pretty decent on damage. Although they do have 4 regen. But we got a lot of spikes stacked up, which is going to be nice. Amazing. Now we did get the shield skill. I'm on 150,000% going to grab it. Because they do have build ID in mind. Now I know we did skip on a whetstone here. Should we grab it right now? Because we could have our bow and arrows this position. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to grab you too. I'm going to roll. We can grab ourselves a bag of stones here. We can grab ourselves a big old banana with some storage. We can grab ourselves a second shield here as well. Now I'm going to sell the amulet. I'm actually going to grab ourselves our extra shield. I'm going to sell the lump of coal to grab ourselves that bit of storage. And I do want to reserve the banana, but I am going to venture on with this for now. So we should be able to block quite a bit of damage with double shields. It's going to be 60% chance to block a lot of melee damage. Doesn't block bows, doesn't block staves, but blocks melee damage. It's going to eat up all the stamina, prevent a lot of damage first, as we deal damage with our setup. So our little short boards are not going to trigger these shields, which is going to be really awesome for us. We've stacked up quite a lot of spikes, which is also going to be pretty darn awesome too. And our opponent has run out of battle edge. So yeah, it's definitely looking like we have the advantage here. For sure. Amazing. We definitely need that banana though. And we can also grab ourselves a hunger bed here. Let's grab the banana. Let's grab another stone. I'm going to roll. We do get ourselves that lucky clover, which I'm looking for. We'll grab more storage. And I'm going to craft up a lucky pig. I'm going to keep rolling though. I almost want to sell our stone here to keep looking for piggy banks because I want as much piggy banks to increase our chance to block the damage. However, we did get a freaking shield of valor, which is going to be even crazier. And a stamina sack. I'm going to have to grab these. But let's keep moving for now. Shield of Valor is going to be nuts. Now, our opponent does have a villain sword with the echoing battle cry with a lot of water stuff. Now, they could have actually got a ton more block as well. But this villain sword is going to be dealing quite a bit of damage. But can we eat up all our stamina, block all that damage, stack up our spikes? Amazing. Genuinely amazing. We got our lucky pig. It's going to be awesome. We're going to sell this wooden buckler because we're going to take the Shield of Valor. Now we can also grab ourselves another undead phenomenon. We can also grab ourselves some crit chance, which I definitely want. Our piggy bank is going to be in this position. increasing the chance to block on our Shield of Valor along with our Spike Shields, and we do want to craft this up into either Sun Shields or Moon Shield. That way we do block ranged damage as well. We do have a nice amount of chance to block, which is going to be awesome. We literally have full HP. And yeah, should be really fantastic for results. Amazing. Oh, leather armor is actually pretty decent here too. I do want to grab. But first of all, I'm going to grab the stamina stack. The thing is, if you do grab crit chance, we're going to have to sacrifice a little bit of damage here. But I think it might actually work. Doesn't mean I can't grab this stuff unless we fill our stones. I'm going to hold on for now. I'm going to be rocking on with this. Now we should be in a good spot. Because we're going to be eating up a lot of stamina from that double axe. We're going to be preventing a lot of damage. And this is a super fast double axe with a crazy amount of fanny packs and a pair of gloves. But they are dealing that big damage. The only thing is, yeah, it has scaled up ridiculously fast, which means we're not going to be blocking the damage anymore. So, we could be in big trouble. We still prevent some of the damage, but the axe is scaled up that we don't really block the big damage it does. Unfortunately, we are in big trouble. But yeah, we do get our life back, and then we do have a choice to make. And the choice I'm going to be making today is I'm going to be going for Piercing Arrow. Let's grab it. We do already have our crit chance. Let's grab another stamina sack. Let's grab our armor for now. Let's also grab you. Hammer of the Wilds is actually really fantastic. Do you want the help pot? Not exactly. I'm going to roll. And that's a fancy rapier, which I'm going to definitely upgrade to. Another lucky clover. And I also want to grab this potion belt. So for now, yeah, I'm going to move on with this. I think this should be pretty decent. We're going to grab our fancy rapier. I'm going to grab all this stuff too. But I'd actually prefer to grab a katana here, because the katana is going to remove scaling damage, which means our opponent is going to be doing less damage. Which means we're going to be taking less damage. But we'll see. Because our opponent is going to be removing our spikes with that stone armor, which will be able to stack up a crit chance though, and deal some big damage with our weapon, since it does get a 40% damage increase. The only thing is, we're using a freaking Hero Sword and a little short bows, which really doesn't have much damage. Let's grab our fancy rapier. I'm going to sell our Hero Sword here. I'm going to grab our storage. I'm going to sell the short bow. I do want to grab our luck here. And I'm going to move on pretty darn quick with this. So we should be in a much better spot. With a fancy rapier, it's going to be a lot of scaling damage. The only thing is, it does eat up a crit chance, since it does use up luck to scale up that damage. But we'll see. It should be a massive damage increase for us right now, which is pretty sweet. And we do got a choice to make. And we're going to be taking Double Rainbow. We're going to be taking Double Rainbow because it does give us a 20% chance to duplicate buffs, which is going to be perfect for a fancy rapier, along with a Piercing Arrow. Now let's grab you. What's it going to be? An Arm of the Darkness. It's okay for now. I'm going to roll again. Another leather armor is kind of nice and all. I was hoping for the brand new skill Full Body Protection. But we do got to grab you. We also got to grab our gloves. Now we also want to grab this lamp. It's going to be trying to lamp as well. But yeah, I'm going to be venturing on with this for now. With our gloves, targeting a fancy rapier specifically. Increase the speed of it. Now our Arm of the Darkness, he's only going to be targeting a fancy rapier. But again, we're going to be trying to make that as fast as possible. We block that damage, we scale up our damage really fast, we stack up a crazy, absurd amount of luck. Amazing. Now the thing is, we also got ourselves another acorn collar, which we're going to grab. That means we don't have to stack up as much luck. For fancy rapier, I'm going to sell a stone so we can grab ourselves this DJINN'S lamp. The only thing is, we can't put in our DJINN'S lamp for right now. We can't even put in our gloves because I did place it this way. I'd much prefer having the 2 acorn collars in. That means every bit of luck is going to be quite significant crit chance, because with a ranger bag, it should be an extra 3%. And then on top of it, an extra 10% then for each bit of luck. So at 9 luck, we should have 100% crit chance. Amazing. Might be a little bit overkill, but I think it's going to be best right now. Let's grab that. We could grab a card for some power stacking. I actually don't really want to. We could grab ourselves the bloody amulet here. I actually really want this to craft up another vampiric armor here. I also want to craft up moon shields so we get that mana stacking like crazy. So then once we eventually put in our DJINN'S lamps, that should be really crazily good for us. So yeah, I'm going to venture on pretty darn quick with this for now. I did place in our lamp, which is going to be scaling up our buffs too. But we'll see. Because our opponent is rocking the Icon Battle Cry. We do have no rush please, which means it's going to be a lot less damage. We're going to be trying to pick a bunch of debuffs with the Poison Ivy. we are going to be taking a lot more damage since I've stacked up over that 18 poison. Unfortunately for us, they did end up smashing us a bit. Super unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm gonna grab this summon sec. Let's grab ourselves this DJINN'S LAMP. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll again. Another pair of gloves, more storage. Now we could actually forego the Fancy Rapier, but we do have double rainbow. But I'm actually gonna take it. I might actually get rid of our Fancy Rapier then. I know I have double rainbow, but I'm gonna be using double rainbow on our DJINN'S lamps to try and lamp that Katana as fast as possible. As well. That way we're not using upper luck as well. However, can we deal with this Reaper with the False Life Please? With the False Life skill, not False Life Please. With the Doom Cap, we're dealing some big damage. And holy moly, did we barely survive there. We actually ended up with a 42 DPS, which is not too bad, especially when our opponent had a lot of damage reduction with Sir Sand and the Cap Resilience. But yeah, I definitely think we can actually make this a lot crazier, so. I'm going to be continuing on, especially when we get ourselves a Mana Orb. That's for sure. Now I'm going to sell our Fancy Rapier. Let's grab you. We're going to grab more storage. Now we're going to take our Mana Orb. We're going to craft up that Moon Shields. We're going to place it in our banana. We're going to sell our Short Bow and a stone, and we're going to take this extra pair of gloves. Which I'm going to be rocking on with this double rainbow. In this position, we should be able to generate up a lot of buffs from a piercing arrow, along with our DJINN'S lamp. And I completely placed this wrong here. Yeah, just moving a little bit too fast. We don't get that extra crit damage on that Ripsaw Blade, which is super unfortunate, but it is a huge mistake. We're still dealing massive damage, but when this is crafted up and we place it in the right position, it's going to be dealing a lot better for us. So it does require it to be like this. Now, our Moon Shield is going to be stacking up our mana, we're going to be stacking up our luck, and all we need is spikes from these. Now the thing is, we could get rid of our Spike Shield here for another Moon Shield. So I'm going to take the shields, I'm going to place it in here. But I might actually use our Lucky Pig to target our double rainbow here. So we can stack up our buffs a little bit easier. As for the Spike Shield, we could actually keep it in. Might as well keep it in for right now. Place our Amulet Darkness in here. Get a crit chance up top like so. Might as well have a chance to duplicate this too, but yeah, gonna be rocking on with this for now. We should have the potential to lamp here pretty fast with a double rainbow like crazy. Their Moon Shield is going nuts, blocking all this damage with all those little daggers, dealing some big damage, and amazing. Genuinely amazing. I'm gonna grab the gloves. Let's grab you, see what's gonna be. Amulet Life. Not too bad, not too great either though. We could grab ourselves another lamp. Hell yeah. I do want to grab this too. But I think we're gonna fit this in up top. Place that in. Have our gloves in like so. And yeah, I'm gonna move on pretty darn quick with our setup. Especially with the Amulet Darkness targeting our shields, our opponent is going to be dealing a lot of damage to themselves. The problem is, the Shield of Valor does need to be transformed into a Mana Orb or into a Moon Shield to block range damage. Wait, that's some big damage from our Katana. Let's grab you, let's roll. I'm going to grab this too. And I'm going to place this one in here for now. I'm going to roll again, Mana Orb, DJINN'S Lamp, another Lucky Clover. All pretty good options. I'm going to sell our banana. I'm going to sell this too so we can craft up this Moon Shields because it is the final round to craft. But this DJINN'S Lamp really wants to sit in here. Unfortunately. We could sit up here. We could switch this out like that. Then place this around this way. But I think for now I'm still going to venture on with this. Even though this DJINN'S Lamp's not going to be connecting to a Katana, I think it still should be okay. Anyway, let's venture on. Let's grab our Mana Orb. Let's craft it up into another Moon Shield so we just turbo stack mana like there's no tomorrow because we do start off with enough mana. We probably don't need this, but it is going to block a lot more damage for us. Literally. We don't have to worry about range damage. Since we are going to be blocking a crazy amount of damage with our shield. But our opponent also has the shielded as well. They are moving some of our buffs. And our Katana is running out of stamina. But that's 166 crit. And not looking too bad. 168. Which is kind of crazy. We got our extra Moon Shields. Let's grab this DJINN'S Lamp. Let's grab ourselves a Lucky Clover. Let's roll again. And I wouldn't mind grabbing this. If this was an Amulet of Energy, it would be insane. The thing is, we're running out of stamina, so maybe don't want that extra gloves, even though our opponent did have shields. The thing is, we could solve this. Spike shield. I'm down for it. Let's grab you. What's going to be? Amps of energy. Okay, we definitely want all our lamps on our freaking katana here. So the thing is, this pair of gloves I might actually just place onto our vampiric armor because I want all these DJINN'S lamps. We're going to have our double rainbow in this position, targeting our amps of energy as well. So when we do refund one of these, we should be able to get it back on our amps of energy, given a chance to duplicate it as well. So yeah, this should be pretty darn smashing. Well, we'll see. We're going to be moving on. Can we win out this final rounds? I'm going to be slowing this one down. We should be able to block a lot of damage with double moon shields. Even on some ranged weapons like Ruby Whelp or Tool's Grace, we do stack up an absurd amount of mana. And we just need a little bit more spikes. We do lamp once. And we should be able to lamp again. Potentially. The only thing is, lamping all this much is taking up all our luck. Stacking up, getting rid of all the crit chance, which is why I did want to grab all these acorn colors. We did end up with a 94 DPS Katana, dealing some big damage, which is kind of crazy. And we actually only ended up with a 63 DPS. As reals, we didn't have a whole lot of heals. As for block, we did manage to get 320 block from Vampiric Armor, but our opponent did only have a 30 DPS. Our opponent only had 30 DPS because he blocked so much of it with our moon shields, preventing that damage. So overall, pretty darn smashing build. With this 4 lives left, just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. And I hope to keep looking for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, we're jumping back to history, and we're going to see can we deal with this good old Berserker with the Brass Knuckles, Magic Torch, Mana Thirst, Spike Staff. I mean, we're already dealing massive damage. Literally. Our opponents have Battle Rage. Can they actually outpace us? We'll see. That's a 246 crit, 247, amazing. Literally amazing damage. Okay, let's see if we can deal with this Poison Ivy, Serpent Staff type build. With a lot of damage reduction with the caps. We'll see. The Katana's already dealing 73 damage. 167 damage right now. We have used up a lot of crits though, stacking our lamps, but that's a 242 crit. Holy moly. That's kind of crazy. Okay, can we deal with this double Blood Torn, Magic Torch, crazy Vampiric Potion type setup? There could be run through stam like there's no tomorrow though. So, especially since we've got double moon shields. So we actually countered this opponent extremely nicely. That's a 310 crit with the freaking Katana. That's so much crit damage. Holy moly. Genuinely moliness.